Good afternoon. All right, so my name is Kenneth Matau. I'm from MTN. I'm from a division called Converge Solutions. I'm head of IoT and cybersecurity for our B2B section, okay, in MTN. So our customers are companies. So I manage these two platforms for them. Thanks. All right, so look, before I really begin, I just want to start with a little story. So in 2002, I was a student, okay, in Malaysia. So I saw traffic lights, okay, which could respond to traffic. So basically, I mean, the way you see, they normally have timers. Those ones, if they saw that this side, there's more traffic than the other side, they would give this side, okay, more time on the traffic lights. And it's something I liked. It's simple technology, really, if you think about it. I mean, you just put sensors, okay, on this side and on the other side. And then they just activate, I mean, if on the other side there's no traffic. Otherwise, it just follows, okay, normal patterns. And I thought we would have this, I mean, in our country in a few years. It's been 20 years, even now. I'm not seeing that. So look, in between, a lot of things, okay, have happened. Obviously, it is not all doom and gloom. Yeah, I think that time we were still on 3G or 2G. So a lot of things have happened. I mean, I was still using a Nokia 3310. So right now we are on what, iPhone 15 something. I don't know where Galaxy is. So a lot of things have happened. I mean, we put a watch in a phone. We took the phone, we put it, okay, in a watch. And we're doing a number of things like vehicle tracking. We're doing animal tracking. We've got solar panels, okay, on our houses. Some people are off-grid, and then they can manage electricity on their devices, okay, remotely. I mean, even when they are overseas, they can check, okay, all of those things. So really a lot of things, okay, have happened. But I had to highlight, okay, that one. I don't know when it's happening. I think government is gone from the room, so maybe they could help us, okay, with that one. So look, in terms of the market, okay, for IoT. So IoT, it's not a very matured business in South Africa, but it's been there for some time. And it's a big business. So right now, it's doing somewhere, let's say this year, somewhere around 140 billion rands worth of revenue or contribution to the country. And we've got somewhere around 30 million connected devices in this country. And then they say in 5 years' time, it's going to go somewhere around 250 billion. So as you can see, I mean, this is serious money. It's not peanuts. So it's a business, okay, which is big, and it's something, okay, which we take seriously. But then if you compare us maybe to our global counterparts, globally the revenues for IoT are somewhere around 500 billion US dollars, and we've got about 14 billion, okay, connected devices. So you can tell, okay, we are still a bit behind. We still have a lot, okay, to cover. And then if you look at the top 5 countries, China is the top country. They've got more devices than people, really. They've got about 2 billion IoT devices. And then USA, it's somewhere distant from that. And then in between that, USA and Germany, there's really a big gap. And then in terms of top IoT connections, look, this one here, this is just my stat. This is what I manage, okay, at work. So for me, what I manage, the top connections, it's vehicle tracking. It's a lot of it for the companies. And then the number 2, it's smart metering. So we've got a number of cities, okay, which are moving to smart meters so that people don't have to go and then check the meters and, I mean, go back and do estimations. All right, look, in terms of the types of connectivity, okay, which are being used, okay, in IoT, The top one, okay, it's Wi-Fi. So a lot of devices, okay, are connected, okay, over Wi-Fi. And then what really surprised me, and it could surprise you also, it's Bluetooth. Apparently it contributes, okay, around 27% of connections in terms of IoT. Okay, and then we've got the normal ones, okay, which I am part of. The mobile connectivity, the likes of 2G, 3G, 4G, NB, IoT, LTE, okay, and all of that. So those, they contribute, okay, somewhere around 20% or so. And then in terms of revenues, which telcos, okay, are making the most money, and which ones, okay, have got the most number of devices connected. So China, you can see here, they are dominating. You can see China Mobile, okay, in terms of revenue, they are number one, and then even in terms of connected devices, they are number one. But then if you go at the revenues, you can see AT&T, okay, it's much closer. So it means they are really squeezing the revenues, okay, out of their IoT, or they are more efficient, or the devices, okay, which they have, maybe they create more data, or they create, okay, higher revenues, okay, for them. Okay, so one of the questions, okay, I mean, which could be asked, okay, why should we deploy IoT? What do we gain? So look, we've got the reasons, okay, here, I mean, which we are used to: faster response times, resource allocations, higher productivity, and all of that. But then also, it contributes, okay, to GDPs, okay, of the countries. There's something, okay, which I'm just showing, okay, down there. They say by 2025, IoT is going to contribute about 400 million in taxes, okay, in Africa. So it is really, okay, contributing, okay, to our economies. And obviously some of the things, okay, are getting better, okay, because of that. I mean, if you can think about safety in mines, I'm going to cover that. If you can think about the health benefits, I mean, the monitoring, so, and all of that. And then what I'm just showing, okay, on the right, that's where, okay, it shows operating cost savings as a result, okay, of using IoT. So as you can see, South Africa has got a lot, okay, to benefit, because our businesses, okay, are not that efficient, I mean, compared to the likes of Germany. So those are only gaining somewhere around 3% in terms of savings, because their businesses, okay, are already more efficient, okay, than us. Okay, so for a telco, I mean, which I am part of a telco, how does IoT look like? So, I mean, before we deploy, normally we put down plans. So I'm just showing here from the left, okay, to right. We've got a number of things, okay, which we do to consider. Okay, we start, okay, with the SIM card. So we've got different types, okay, of SIM cards. We've got eSIMs, okay, which are embedded, okay, in the devices. We've got the normal plastic SIM, okay, which you know, it comes, okay, also, okay, in different sizes. But then also, even in one SIM, we can put something like 20 virtual SIMs, different profiles. You might have, okay, one SIM, okay, outside, written a name, okay, which is not MTN or any telco in South Africa. But then once you are inside, you find that it can connect to all the networks without even you knowing. And then, I mean, obviously, we've got our radio networks. I mean, we've got the likes of NB-IoT, 2G, 3G, 5G. And then we've got something called the connectivity management platform. So this is where, I mean, our customers, okay, would come to us. They can buy SIMs, okay, in bulk. They can do SIM swaps. They can do SIM activations, suspensions, all of those things. And then they can also do things like location-based services. I mean, if you think about, let's say, a tracking company. A tracking company, okay, makes use, okay, of SIM cards in the cars. They've got their own platforms, IoT platforms, okay, which they use, and then they are able, okay, to track, okay, those cars. I mean, obviously they use GPS, but then also they they do use, okay, mobile connectivity, and they are able, okay, to manage, okay, that they can see those cars, okay, on their platforms. Obviously, there are other things, okay, which we do. And then we've got things like advanced, okay, analytics, which we run, okay, also, okay, on our platforms. I mean, obviously, we can make a lot of decisions, okay, based, okay, on what we get from these platforms. Okay, so look here, I'm just covering a number of use cases. I won't be able to cover all of them. I'll just cover, okay, a few. I'm just looking at some here, like agriculture. So in agriculture, I mean, we do have devices, okay, which are helping farmers to automate things like, let's say, irrigation. So basically, they can monitor the soil to see, okay, I mean, how far, is it dry, is it moist, and all of those things. They can even monitor manure, if it's enough, okay, on the soil. They can even check, I mean, when are you supposed to do grazing. We've got something also called connected animal. I mean, we put devices, okay, on animals. We check the health, okay, of a cow, so they can graze, okay, all over the farms. And then sometimes we can even do a geofencing. So instead of having a physical fence, we put a geofence, a fence, okay, which doesn't exist, but it's something, okay, which we put on the map, okay, on the platforms. So when the cow crosses, it goes to, okay, someone else, okay's farm, we can see it. And then Mr. Matebula can go to, I don't know, Mrs. Van Niekerk, and say, look, your cow has been in my farm for the past 2 weeks. It was here for, I don't know, 36 hours. So let's be commercials. I mean, I am feeding your cows. And it makes it easy, I mean, for those cows, at least they are not locked by physical fences. But then it works well. And then even in mining, I mean, in mining, we use, okay, a lot of this. You think about mines like they are doing private 5G networks. So there's a lot of theft, okay, in mining and also around environmental issues. So they have to monitor remotely and even when they are there. But then also there are vehicles, okay, which are moving, they use drones. So they use a lot of this technology in there where they have to monitor. Sometimes, okay, they even lose fuel or they use traces, okay, of their minerals. So they monitor, okay, all of these things. So in IoT, we've got, okay, those solutions, okay, which we sell, okay, to mines. Sometimes, okay, they are 10K solutions, but sometimes, okay, a mine, okay, would come to us and then buy things one by one and then have their own solution. And I think we are all familiar, okay, with load shedding. Yeah, we've survived a lot. So even this one, okay, it's the adoption, okay, for IoT is going higher and higher. I spoke about it. So in 2022, South Africa imported lithium batteries. They spent 12 billion, okay, in just importing that. And then last year, they spent, okay, even more than that. So people are going off grid, or at least having that flexibility of knowing when there's load shedding, okay, then they can do their things remotely, they still have power. And what are some of the challenges? Look, I've got some challenges, okay, which I put there. Look, building an IoT platform can be very challenging. I just had 2 meetings today, both escalations. Just during lunch, they came, okay, outside and said, look, we need to tell them why we cannot go live in the next 4 weeks. Yeah, we took 40 minutes really explaining what needs to happen there. So an IoT platform can have more than 30 interfaces. Just integrating, you connect to RICA, you connect to billing, you connect to the warehouse for deliveries, you've got fraud systems, you've got your ticketing systems, and all of those things, many others. So it can take a lot of time, okay, to build, but then also even after building, it takes a lot of time also testing because things, okay, have to work end to end. Because what customers want, okay, they want something, okay, which works seamlessly. They log into a portal, they can just do click, then they know after 2 days, their SIM cards, okay, will just come and then they can just start running. And maybe just one last thing, okay, which I want to mention, okay, around challenges here. Also, you find, okay, that we are doing migrations. So look, to a customer, it should not be visible that they were using a platform A, now they are using a platform B, unless a platform B looks better to them. in terms of what they are looking at. But otherwise, it should just be seamless. So sometimes you find that, okay, we are migrating from an old platform, okay, to a new platform. And then in between, we can no longer invest, but then we are being asked, okay, to migrate a number of, or onboard a customer. One of our operating companies close to Nigeria, I won't mention the name, so they are looking to do 900,000 SIMs, and they're asking me to do it, okay, in the next two weeks. So we have to come up, okay, with a solution, okay, of how do we do that. We're busy with something new, we've got our legacy platform, and then we have to make decisions. I mean, do we migrate them, okay? Do we put them on the old platform, or do they wait, okay, for the new platform? We have to resolve that. Yeah, and one of the biggest challenges also is insecurity. So IoT in its nature, it spreads security. It increases the surface. Basically, I mean, in security, what we always do is we try to minimize the surface, we try to close the surface, but IoT is doing it the other way. And it's not easy, okay, to manage IoT devices. I'm not sure, I mean, how many of you know your password for your smart TVs. Normally, you buy a smart TV, it comes with a default password, you never change it. In most cases, you don't even know, okay, it exists. So these are some of the things, okay, which have to be secured. You think about your fridges also, okay, they are connected to internet. And when we speak about security, okay, really for IoT devices, okay, these are some of the things. And also it's very difficult, okay, to push firmware to some of these devices. Some of them, they are in remote areas. I mean, they go and put it, okay, in Guruman, and then they forget about it, okay, for the next 7 years. Because it has to be there, it has to use the battery for the next 7 years, okay, before they do anything. They don't update it, they just don't do whatever, as long as it's doing its job, because it's almost, okay, like a dumb terminal. So, I mean, what we do, I mean, we do normal things, okay, which are known, but then we deploy something called the Zero Trust, okay, IoT network. And since we cannot put agents, I mean, on a TV, we cannot put, like a normal PC, in a PC, you can put an agent that you can monitor the PC. You can log it sometimes, you can even push updates, okay, to that PC. On a device, it's very difficult to do that. I mean, you cannot put an agent. So companies, okay, had to come up, okay, with solutions. And we are using, okay, some of these solutions, okay, where we can monitor devices even, okay, without agents. And then if we have to act, I mean, to manage, okay, vulnerabilities, and then we do that. All right, so look, just in closing, IoT, it's a big business, and IoT, okay, it's very matured. They spoke about a fourth industrial, okay, revolution here. IoT, okay, it's at the heart of that. I mean, connecting all kind of devices. Remember, IoT, we're connecting things. All kind of things. We're connecting coffee machines, we're connecting agriculture, we're connecting cows, we're connecting cars, we're connecting fridges, all of those things. So there are many, many opportunities, okay, in that. There are economic opportunities, there are automation opportunities, there are also safety and law opportunities, and even in service delivery, I think this is something, okay, which it can help. And also in rural area inclusion, IoT can really go deeper and help, okay, those people, okay, to be included. You don't need, okay, too much data usage, but it's something, okay, which can be used for that. So thank you very much.